And so I talked to myself for an hour. So that was lovely. Did that twice. And finally it loaded. I don't know what was wrong, what had not happened. And then at around 6 o'clock, I looked at the computer. It's like, oh, damn, it loaded the original one. And I finally, after like 8 hours. And so anyway, it was kind of crazy. So hopefully today we won't have any problem with that. So I do have my iPad here, so I can actually hopefully see if anyone has any questions, or if you want to jump in and have something to say. I can have a little bit better control of that. So hopefully that's good. So please feel free to ask any questions. You know, we have a nice small group, and I want you to get the best information that you can. So we'll work from there. All right, so I'm going to just flip on my slides and go to that, and we'll be away to the races. All right. Okay, so this is day 2 of win the staging job without ever compromising on price, which wouldn't that be nice if that always happened everywhere? But you know what? I have to say that it does happen, and it should happen, and it should happen more frequently than for many stagers, that it hasn't been happening. And as I said yesterday, that's partly of like what's happened with the relationship with agents, that we seem to have allowed them to have some bit more control than they should about pricing. Now, interestingly, I think it's also because not every woman is like this, but I think as women, we you know, we are confident absolutely 100% in what we do, but when someone sort of challenges on something like price, it kind of goes like, well, you know, where do we go from there? So it's not always the easiest to manage it when someone says that to us, and we assume for some strange reason we think that we have to agree with them, but we don't. You can just say no, and you can just say that no, this is the price, and you can stand your ground. And the interesting thing about it, when you stand your ground on your pricing, is that they either come back to you, or if they didn't come back to you, they are not probably a good fit client, because they are choosing who they're going to stage with based on price. And we want them to really be thinking about value as well. So one of the things I mentioned yesterday, and I was thinking about putting a slide in, but I just realized I didn't do it, just to highlight the fact that when we talk about cost, that's the cost that it costs you to deliver the service. So what it costs your business in overheads and staffing and investment, all that sort of stuff. What it costs you to deliver the job is cost. What the client pays is price. And so price is usually going to be a chunk more than cost, because we want to make a profit in there. And in most businesses, it can be quite a high profit. In staging, I think that there's a reluctance to put a big profit on it, but you should be doing that, because that's what's going to make your business successful for you. So you should be thinking at least 35 to 45% as a profit, and more if you can do that. So so really sort of think about where the profit is. So that's your price, and then the value is what it means to the client, what they're willing to pay for what you are going to be able to do for them, for what solution you're going to be able to provide them, for what so that you're going to be able to take them, for what problem you're solving, all those things. But it's the value, it's like what it means to them. And that's actually why what we did yesterday around the best fit client is so important, because we want to really know who that best fit client is and what they actually really want from us, and how we can solve a problem for them that they have. So that's you know, part of that. And then today, when we're talking about niche, that really amps up that value as well, because now our best fit client knows exactly what we do and what we offer and what we bring to the table, which is going to be unique and special, and nobody else is going to have that. So that's going to have you stand apart from that that competition, so that it says, here's my value. Whereas if you're just competing with every other stager, the only thing that they can compare to is price. They can't even compare how you stage. They're just going to compare price. So that's going to be important as well. All right, so here's my picture of my dog today. This is like Thunder. I don't know where he is today. He must have found a bed to sleep on or something. He's 10 and he's kind of lazy. Like he would, like yesterday, he I was up at 7 and he came downstairs at about 2 o'clock, and he hadn't gone out like since the night before. So it's a bit of a nut bar. But he's a lovely pooch. So that's Thunder. So he welcomes you to another day. So I think we kind of we've done some review of what we did yesterday, but part of it also too is just to make sure that you get the replays. And the replays were emailed out later yesterday, and they also, I posted the link to the YouTube version of it in the Facebook group, so you can watch it in either of those places, and watch that one. Okay, just so you know. And if you have any questions, you can post them in the Facebook group, or you can direct message me with your questions. I'm happy to answer. I was thinking that what I'm going to do today is I'm going to send you, when I send out the replay, I'm going to include a couple of links. And one of them is that if you want to have a 20-minute call with me and ask some questions, you can absolutely do that. And yeah, I think that was the major one. So or you can just direct message me and ask me questions, and we can work that way too. Like, I'm happy to answer any questions around this as we go. Okay, so this is kind of exciting because today what we're going to do is really sort of drill down in our staging business what we really want to do. I mean, I remember when I took my original training, and I was like in awe. And all I could think of was like going in and staging homes. And I didn't even really know what that meant yet. It was like brand new to me. It was like, I really didn't know. But as I started to build my knowledge of it, I sort of built my business around what I had learned in my class. And as I was mentioning yesterday, I talked about how I wanted to make cushions, and I wanted to have unique pillows or unique pieces of art. And that was my vision, was I was going to replicate the TV show Sell This House, and I was going to do that for my clients. Well, that totally went out the window when I took my staging training and I was told this is like what staging is, which was all very exciting. But in hindsight, I really wish I had done what I thought I wanted to do, because I realize now that I could have been doing what I love and actually charging more for it, because what I was bringing to the table was something unique and special to every property, which I wasn't doing in the same way when I was staging. Now, I was having a lot of fun, don't get me wrong, but I realized like there were things that really could have made me stand out in my market, that really could have helped me build a package that was that made me more money. And as I said, I'd be doing what I love. So that whole niche thing isn't something that we talk about when we're training. It's not, we're thinking about staging, we're thinking about vacant staging, we're thinking about layouts in a room and the nuances of design as it applies to staging, and the marketing side of it, right? The part that when we stage a home, we are really marketing that home so that it sells. And so that's typically, what comes into our head first when we're doing that. So today we're going to talk more about how to stand out from the competition, and really so that you're standing out, you stand out from the competition, and you stand out in front of your best fit client, which we talked about yesterday. Like, who is it that you really want to attract? One thing I just want to clarify too is that when we talked about the best fit client yesterday, it wasn't necessarily the seller, and it wasn't necessarily the agent. More probably likely to be the agent. So you can have a best fit agent. In fact, I was doing some training, preparing some training not that long ago, and I wanted to call it the agent attraction formula, which is kind of like what we're doing right now, because agents are the ones that are going to give you the most business. They're going to be able to refer you to all their listings, whereas if you market to just sellers, you're just going to attract that one person. And really your value, although it's to the seller, it's really to the agent as well, because they make money off what either they invest or they encourage their sellers to invest. It's very interesting watching agents, even now still, like navigate the whole staging world, because they see it as, they look at it, and this is part of the reason that they are always negotiating, on price, is they look at it as it's something that they've promised their clients, that they've promised their sellers, or they've made it like deliverable that's part of what and why they got that listing. They don't think about it as, oh, this increases the value of my property. oh, this makes more property more attractive and more people will want to see it. Like, they don't think about it that way. I'm not going to say every agent, because the agents that are loyal to staging, man, they are loyal. They don't list a house without staging it. But when you think about the ones where they're negotiating on price, or they've been difficult to engage, it's usually because they don't know enough about the value that staging is actually going to bring them in the sale of their property. And really, honestly, that means to their bottom line, to their business, that they will make more money, they will get more clients because of that. So, and anyway, so I keep trying to say the same sentence on this screen, not getting there, but we're going to talk about how to stand out from that competition, so that those agents who are your best fit agents, or your best fit sellers, or contractors, or flippers, are the people that are coming to you because they can't wait to see what you're going to do on their property. All right. Or they trust you, or you've filled a niche for them, not filled a niche, but filled a need for them. And so basically, we're going to be crafting that unique niche for you today. We're going to be looking at how we can do that, and what that would look like in your business and to your best bet client. So with that first quick review, just to, we talked a fair bit about this already, but nobody wants to compromise on price. Nobody wants to feel like their work isn't appreciated, and more to the point, that it's undervalued. Nobody wants to feel like that, because I can guarantee you that probably 90% of stagers are super passionate about what they do. They love to serve, and they love to serve in this way, doing something that they really enjoy and they're very good at. So having to compromise sucks, and it really is sort of a slap in the face, and it's hard to come back from when we see that happening as well. So what we really want is to have that niche that not only fulfills us, but also gets our agents to say yes, our best bet client to say yes, that's what we want. Which means that we need to make ourselves and what we do so irresistible to our best bet client that they can't say no. That they are ready to pay, that they are looking for you to do this work for them, as opposed to another stager that just calls themselves something staging. There's a difference between that. All right. And so to start, we need to get to know our customer, right? So we defined who our best fit client is. And now we know that we need to be able to market to them with what they need. And so ultimately, when you've defined who your best fit client is, you'll know what they need from you, and or what they need, what they would pay more for, what would be irresistible to them, what they're really looking for. And since most people don't really understand the value of staging, you can not even use the word staging in this. Like, I used to describe what I did as helping people get their house ready to sell, because that was really what I was doing in their eyes, that they didn't necessarily really understand the definition of staging. So this was a much better way for them to be able to understand what it was we were doing. I have a coaching client who she's doing a day designer thing that she's setting up, and she wants to call it interior design for a day. But the thing is that the people who would want her for a day, especially for the thing that she's going to do for them, they don't know that they really need an interior designer. In fact, they might have these ideas that an interior designer might be really expensive, and so therefore, they don't even look at what you're going to offer them. So sometimes it's more important to or less important to talk about ourselves, and more important to talk about what the value is to the client. And so that's just a heads up that it doesn't have to always say staging. It doesn't have to say occupied staging. Like, when you talk about occupied staging, instead of saying that, you can say, we help people or sellers navigate living in their home while it's on the market. Like, that's just one sort of thought of it, but you see what I mean? Like, you want to make it so that they really understand what it is that you do that's different than anybody else. So if I was selling staging, and here's my staging offer, versus we help sellers navigate having their home on the market and how to live comfortably while they do that, that says something very different to the client. And if that's where your specialty is, or where your niche is, that you really support, like you work in occupieds, you support families, and you have like ways for them to navigate this much easier, then all of a sudden things change. And just as because you guys are new at this, when you think about like, how would I help, just as this is just a bit of a sidebar, but how do I help my sellers who are going to live in the home, with their family while they're on the market? Like, some of those things could be that you have childcare options or drop-in childcare options, and you have a relationship with a realtor or with a daycare that will let you do that, or you have a doggy daycare or someone who will take your dog out for a walk while the house is being shown, or you have you're really strapped for time because there's not enough time in the day for you to be able to get your house ready, but you need help, and so maybe you have contacts that help to do that, like handyman or just drop-in help or something like that. So you suddenly have like a different kind of network, and that really like makes up your niche, and that makes you really special and unique. And the interesting thing is that we would look at that and go, well, I'm just doing my job, but you're not doing your job like that, like somebody else is doing it. So when you highlight what you bring to the table like that, and you make them feel like that they are getting value from you, that changes everything for them. Okay. Now, I want to share with you the 5-part blueprint. Now, the 5-part blueprint is something that we're not talking about the whole thing today on this 3-day challenge, but I wanted to highlight it for you because this is, when I talked yesterday about the Modern Stager Studio, the monthly membership, this is what a lot of, well, I shouldn't even say a lot of, the foundation training for stagers, the strategies that we use, and everything that we do in the programs that I offer is built on this 5-part blueprint. So I wanted you to see where what we've been looking at is the marketing strategy. So in that marketing strategy, there are things like the best fit client, things like identifying your niche, things like that fall out of that, which are like your messaging, which we're going to talk about in a minute, about how to market to your best fit client with words that they understand and appreciate. And so that's part of your messaging, just like what we were talking about. And so the thing that we have done yesterday and today is to talk about what fits into that marketing strategy and why it's so important. And tomorrow we're actually going to talk about the offer, because we're going to do some fun stuff with that. And that's tying those things together as well. Now, part of what the 5-part blueprint is intended to do is to give you that push. So if you are starting your staging business, this is a great place for you to like, instead of spreading yourself so thin and doing so much, you set one 12-month financial goal for yourself, and it's always going to be a financial goal because that's the easiest to actually build. You're going to have one offer that you market to your clients, one marketing strategy. So and in that sense of marketing strategy, it's like, we use social media, or we have like, we do not paid advertising so much in the new business, but you're on your website and you use Google, so that you have that one marketing strategy. What we typically look at is in that sense is using social media and free marketing, using your emails, automations, and setting things up so that it's automatically happening, and using lead magnets to help make that happen as well. So like, just demonstrating your expertise to your people and engaging them, and them feeling like, oh, I want to do more of that. I'm not big on going into realtors' offices and taking them out for coffee. It's a great strategy, but it also takes your time, and that time is money, is time that you could be earning money. So and staging. So this is like one really good way. And we know that everybody, like we talk about Facebook, but everybody's on Facebook. Even if they have a business and they're on LinkedIn, they're still on Facebook. So so that marketing strategy is we focus on using social media, the messaging that goes out there, free marketing, and emails are still the best return on investment, and not necessarily something we see a lot in the industry. So you'll hear a lot of people talking about going and taking realtors out for coffee. I did many of those until actually one day I went in a snowstorm to have coffee with somebody. Actually, you would recognize this as North Whitby, and I remember it was this, well, maybe it was Oshawa actually, and it was snowing like banshee, and I went out of my way to go and meet this realtor, thinking that we were reconnecting, and she wanted to talk about staging. And all she wanted to do was sell me some financial package because she'd moved out of the real estate industry. I was like so annoyed. Anyway, that was the last time I did that. And I thought, I'm not doing that again. So there are other and better ways to market and to capture those agents. So that's what we talk about in the 5-part blueprint. And it's also a big part of the foundation of what's in the Modern Stager Studio, the monthly membership as well. Okay, so we'll move on from that one. Oh yeah, there you go. And the other thing that I wanted to mention about the Modern Stager Studio, just to plant this seed, is that starting on October 15th, inside the membership, we are doing the 90-day sprint to staging revenues, which is really built on this. So we do the training in this, and we build our business. So perfect for you if you're starting, because you can actually start this from the very beginning and not spread yourself so thin, and actually have a path to follow as you're building your business in that first year as well, so that you're not out there on your own trying to figure it out. So this is what we do. Now, what was I going to say? There's something else I was going to say about this, but yeah, so that's inside the membership. And also, if you were taking my Modern Stager training program, like the foundation training, getting your certification, you also will be doing this as well. So this is an opportunity for you to just, like, you know, take the leap, but with support and with a plan. The other thing is, this can be really good for you if you not only starting your business, but you want to have a shift. You want to make things different in the next 12 months from what they have been in the previous 12 months. Actually have a plan to get to the goal that you want. You want to grow and scale your business. This is a good way to start to really sort of like re-look at what you're doing, and again, have the support to do that. So, and just as a I forgot this slide was in there. In the 12 months that you would do this program, the 5-part blueprint, then what we do in the 90-day sprint is like build the foundation for this to happen, so that if you set your goal to have 6 figures in your staging business this year, that you need to make $8,500 in a month, and maybe you decide on a signature offer that's $5,000, so you only need to sell 20 of them or 2 jobs a month to actually make your $100,000. So just a sort of a visual so you can see that it's doable, and that's our goal, is to get you to whatever financial revenue goal that you have there. All right, so let's get back to niche. So why a niche? Because it's so much easier to market when you have that niche. It keeps you super focused on your messaging, and also super focused on the offers that you are putting out there. So if you just put out one offer, but you were so super focused on that one offer, then you're not distracted by people asking you to do other things. You're not distracted by looking at your competition and thinking, oh, well, they're all doing vacants, so maybe I should be doing the same thing. Because in fact, what you're doing is, like, you're creating a different focus, and you want to stay with that. So if you're doing occupieds for families who want to live in their home while it's on the market, and they're really worried about time and they don't have resources, then you focus on that. You know, and what's interesting too is that when we talk about marketing and that you're going to work and do some social media and some emails, all those topics that you have focused on occupied homes, you can use all that knowledge and that content and that advice and those tips and those hacks and all those things. You can use that in the content that you share through social media and in your emails to generate new clients, because they're like, oh, that's exactly what I do. That's who I work with. So it becomes like really invaluable to you. And I would say, like, even for you to, like, what I'm talking about this week is this can be applied to many other businesses, like most businesses. And so but the difference is that I can talk specifically to staging, and I am most concerned about like what a stager can do and how to help them have their best business. And I can help with a lot more detail on that, even though I could also help uh, any other industry as well. Somebody that's in another industry and wants some help. So it's interesting because, and you'll see this because the moment I say for stagers or in the staging market or realtors or selling homes, you suddenly realize that, oh, she's going to talk about me. She's going to talk about what I have. And that's what, when we say it keeps you focused and your messaging is already there, all you have to do is add in like that one word of like, you want to, or a couple words of, you want to live in your house while it's on the market. Well, here's what you can do, and here's how you can take care of it. And so it's all stuff that you know, but you're getting super focused on a market that that really values that knowledge and what you're bringing to the table. And as I said, it also talks directly to your best fit client because it uses words. So as stagers, you are but one characteristic of my best fit client. You're also stagers who want to do better. You're also stagers who are, I'm going to say ambitious and committed to success because you're taking the time out to do this, and as well. So suddenly, like, there's my niche, and I'm talking directly to you in that niche as well. Like I was when I put in these images, like, and this is also part of your brand. So when you're thinking about what your niche is, it can really influence your brand. And so, you know, this woman, she's painting a wall and she's renovating or helping touch up. And I was thinking, I don't remember ever doing that in the house when I was staging. But I never marketed it. I never told anybody that I could do it. I never suggested that I might do it. I never included it in a package, never. But also I would want to say, the illustrations of the photos that I use are going to be the ones that are going to actually impact and attract my best fit clients as well, that they're going to associate what they do with what's also in the photos in your brand as well. So the other reasons for having a niche are that well, we talked about this. I mean, that's the whole intention of this, is to separate you from the competition, to highlight and through your messaging what's unique about you and not about them, and it then therefore makes you irresistible to them. They want to hear more from you. They want to feel like, oh, she gets me, she understands me, she knows what we're looking for. That's fine. Like it's that next step in, and there's so much competition. And yesterday I was talking about McDonald's, but you know, back in the day when I would go to McDonald's with my siblings, which was many years ago, there were no other takeout restaurants. I think there was KFC. I grew up in a small town, but even then I can remember, like outside Ottawa, and I can remember driving into Ottawa, and there was the McDonald's and there was the Kmart, and now you would go and it would be McDonald's and Wendy's and another McDonald's and KFC, and like there'd be so many. So your competition is so much greater. Like actually, because there are a couple of Canadians on here, one of the things that I always look at is, and I'm sort of in kind of, I question, is like Tim Hortons. Because I look at Tim Hortons and I'm like, they're always trying to like compete with everybody else, but really what they are super great at is coffee, donuts, bagels, and get you out the door. And so when they're doing pizzas and all these other things, like, why? You don't have to be like Starbucks, and you don't have to be like Wendy's, even though they're affiliated with Wendy's, but you don't have to do that. You would get everybody who wants a donut and a large coffee, and it's reliable, fast, hot, good, you know. Anyway, that's my little bone to pick there. But it's an example of spreading yourself too thin, whereas when you have a niche, that's what you become known for. That's what people want you for. That's makes you irresistible to them. And this is really important to me, is that you get to do what lights you up. So when I'm saying like pick a niche that really suits your talents, your expertise, your knowledge, and that you're going to love doing every day as well, because that's what people are going to want from you. That's where they're going to why they're going to come to you. And just because it's a business doesn't mean that you can't keep doing that. So, you don't need to compete with any other stager, and that's why having that niche is really important. And you want to stand out, and you want your agents, your best fit agents, to want you because you're irresistible, because you have something that's unique, and so that you don't have to compete with that competition anymore. When they're saying they're staging, but you're saying I help families navigate, having their house on the market, that's a totally different thing. And so if that's your competition is saying I'm staging, and you're saying something really more specific, that's amazing. Like you've set yourself up for success already. So your niche is going to help you to serve those clients even better, because you're going to give them what they want. So when you hear about people who, and when you read in any of these Facebook groups about they moved the furniture around, or they told me to come in and just take it all out again. I saw one of those the other day. I'm like, blow my mind. That's partially from lack of, or I don't want to say poor communication, because really it's not our fault that they did that. It's like they're, I was going to say stupid. That's not a fair word either, but they don't know enough about what we're doing. And they have, I don't know. They're just not, I don't imagine any of you would want to be working with an agent that would do that. And it might be the last time that you ever worked with them. So you're going to set it up from the beginning so that never happens. I have to say, in 7 years of staging, and also that was in the GTA, in the Durham, Whitby market, Toronto market, I never had anyone ever do that. I had never had anyone ever say to me, can you come and change this out? I don't like this. Never, because they knew I had positioned myself as the expert that they needed, and they didn't have to question me. So I think it's our mindset around that we are the expert, and we are focused on what they need, and our niche, and only people who really want what we have will hire us, which is really what we want, because those are the people also who will pay more. So you want to serve your clients even better than you have. It's going to allow you that niche to be more focused, as I said, around your messaging, around what you do. Like, let's say you are, let's say right now you're beginning, and you want to be able to do everything for everybody. So you want to have enough inventory to be able to stage a vacant property, but you also want to be able to have accessories to do an occupied property, and small furniture, let's say, for example. But if you decided, you know what, I don't want to do vacants, I actually really want to do occupieds, you never even have to look at a big warehouse. You never have to look at like investing in big furniture. So it changes everything. So that allows you to be more focused when you know what your niche is, and vice versa. If you are going to focus on vacant staging and not do occupieds, then it means you never have to get involved in helping the homeowner, that you can actually come in, stage, and never see the homeowner, which actually happens. You can make more revenues by that. You can buy furniture that you love. You can go to the furniture shows and buy amazing furniture and use in your staging as well. So it really helps you to be more focused on your business, because you're no longer trying to serve everybody with everything. You're focused on what that can be. And I just want to say that it doesn't mean that your niche doesn't change. It doesn't mean that you couldn't have more than one, and it might evolve, merge into two or into one. It doesn't mean that at all. It's just, especially when we look at the 5-part blueprint and the commitment of 12 months, like focus, that means you're not distracted from your goal. It means you're not distracted from where you want to get to, and your niche will really help you to do that. So your niche can come from an opportunity where no one is being served. So when we were talking about, what's your competition doing? What are they not doing? So what they are not doing could really become your niche, could be your opportunity. If they only stage vacants, and you're thinking, I like doing occupieds, I'm okay with that. And you decide, well, you know what, that's my opportunity. I'm going to take that, I'm going to run with it, and I'm going to build my business around being able to do occupieds, at least for the next 12 months. And I'll specialize in it. So you can even say, if you want to, instead of niche, you can say you specialize in this, if you want to do that as well. So you're filling the gap, and when you fill the gap and everybody else is doing vacants and you're going to do occupieds, imagine the business you're going to have because there are, so like I said yesterday, there were 5 million transactions in I think 2022 in the States, and 5 million people did not vacate their house in order to get it on the market, and 5 million people did deserve to have their house sell in the best way possible. So that's a big gap that you get to fill. So how do you pick that niche? How do you pick that specialty thing that you're going to do? There's a few ways to do this. And the first one is to think about, what do you love to do? And I say this because you want to be in a place where you really are loving what you do, because you don't want to be in a place where you hate what you do. You know, a lot of stagers will go to vacant staging because they really don't have to talk with other people. They love being able to buy inventory and have that. That's part that they just love that side of it. They can really style in the best way that they want to. They don't have to mix it up with someone else's stuff. That's not their love. So if they were doing vacant or doing occupieds, they would not be happy. There are also a lot of people who do vacants who don't like doing a consultation, but there are a lot of people who really love to do a consultation, love to be able to help, love to be able to change that up. And by the way, I think it should not be called a consultation. I think you should come up with another name, but because the outcome that you deliver to your clients by giving them recommendations, by supporting them, can be huge. And so that value is massive to your clients. Anyway, what was I trying to say with that? So it's important that you choose something that, if you're going to niche, that you love it. And if there are pieces of it that you don't love, but you still want to make vacant staging your niche, then you hire a team member to do the things that you don't love or a part of it, or you hire a VA to do parts that you don't love either. So, you know, absolutely, you can still have a niche that you don't love every bit of it and still really get value from it. This is something that, if you guys have ever read The Big Leap, it's a really great book. And one of the things that I got from that book was, what can you not imagine leaving this earth not having done? That's a double negative, I realize now. But what can you not imagine leaving this earth not having done? And that's something that you want to think about. Like, could that be part of my niche? Could that be part of what I want to offer? How can I make that come together? Maybe you're a realtor. Like, actually, so Eliza is an interior designer. So if you're an interior designer, how do you bring those pieces of interior design into your niche? Like, how can you make that? Now, one of the things I just wanted to mention too was, just as because Eliza's on the call, that I know that a lot of interior designers, straddle into staging. And the thing that's really appealing to them about staging is the fact that they get paid quickly, that it's an in and out transaction and they get paid fast. That's a really attractive piece to interior designers. So if that in itself sort of says, oh, so that's kind of a niche for me, is that I want to do interior design, or want to take my interior design skills to my niche in the staging world because of that. So it's something to think about as well. But really, what can I not imagine leaving this earth not having done in that double negative? But and that's something that you want to think about. You know, I think, like, what would I want to do? Well, actually, one of the things that I wanted to do was, I wanted to see women really successful in their businesses. And I don't mean that they make 7 figures. I mean that it gives them joy, that they could do this all day long, but they're not spreading themselves so thin that they're exhausted, that they have that really that equilibrium between loving their business and doing what's required in their business versus going on vacation for 4 weeks, or spending after school time with their grandkids and things like that. So to me, that was like really important. I wanted to see women successful in their own business, and staging was a really natural fit for me because I knew the business really well and I know the challenges, and I'd been training and coaching. So I would say that's probably one of the things that I wouldn't want to leave this planet not having done, is to provide an opportunity and a place for female entrepreneurs to really get the confidence and feel good about the business that they have. And so anyway, so that would be sort of like probably what I would feel, and I would build my business and do around that messaging, around those women. Anyway, it's not about me, but just as an example. So One of the things, I should just go back to this for 1 second, is that when you are thinking about, what did I do? Did I miss one? Yeah, what can you not leave this planet not having done? And then inside that, so there's those things that you're most passionate about that you want to do, but there's also the niches inside of the service. So how have you always imagined your staging service, but it wasn't what you were taught, so you didn't do it? You know, to start thinking about, like, how can I make this exactly what I want, or exactly what I think my clients need, or exactly what I think I can give to my clients. So thinking, using the services that you deliver, and that combination of, like, you know, when we think of Eliza and she can bring in her interior design services as well, how can she make that into a niche, and still serve her clients in a way that she always thought she wanted to, but didn't think she could. And now she can, because she can do whatever she wants. And so part of that, identifying what that niche could be partly related to your skills. It could be the related skills to the service that you're offering. So if you're thinking about staging, those skills could be, you know, painting, it could be construction, or small handyman jobs, or landscaping, or renos, and it doesn't always mean that you have to specifically do that, but because you're so intimately involved and understand it, you could have it as part of what you deliver to your clients. And as delivering it to your clients, you are, you have a staff person or a team member who maybe specializes in landscaping and goes in and does some of that, or you have a contractor who's a landscaper who you have as part of what you offer, because you know it so well, you know. And I think that those things, those passions that we have, they are such an asset to our seller, especially when we market them, especially when we include them in some kind of an offer or package or service, because it's something that is unique to you and that you're really good at. I knew a stager when I was starting out my business, and she was in my market. I don't know if she's still doing it. I haven't seen her in a long time, and her face in a long time, but she loved doing landscaping and gardens. And so she built her business around, she actually built the business around landscaping, but she included the staging as part of that. Like, it was a sort of an upsell or an additional offer. But if you were staging, you could definitely bring in that passion and make a difference. You can also be the project manager, and you can also, like, I put coaching in here because if you think of yourself as that expert, and maybe you're the expert at that combination of skills, and you know the value it brings to increasing the sale price, or increasing the chance that someone will buy, then you can coach your clients on that as well. So you can be that expert that you position yourself. So think about the skills that you have that you're going to bring to the table, and then also think about your passions, because things that are really that you really have a passion for are also something that can be part of the industry. Now you can see where my passion lies. I'm a big lover of fabric. I can't say that I sew nearly what I used to, but but I'm a sucker for looking at it. I'm a sucker for pulling it out and opening it up and thinking, oh, what can I do with this one? And I used to work at Fabricland, for anyone who's Canadian, for probably a decade while I was paying off student loans. And I never hated going to work. Well, sometimes I did, but I hardly ever hated going to my part-time job, where I could start planning out projects and things. But ultimately, your passions can really guide you in what that niche is and how you build that into the service that you're going to offer. So it could be that it's organizing. It could be that it's packing for clients. It could be working with seniors. It might be being able to, that you're really good at supporting your clients, that you really love being there to help them. I don't, so that wouldn't, well, I shouldn't say I don't love to help them, but when I was staging, I that didn't really appeal to me, except that I love to see them excited. I love to see them feel like, oh, that wasn't so hard after all, or it was hard work, but man, is it great. The outcome is great. I might specialize in color and really have like a certification in it. Love to be able to talk to clients about color. You could be a photographer and add photography into your staging packages as well. You could be, and when I say textile, I mean that you become more of an expert around that. And you might think, well, what's that mean? How is that possible? But I remember a stager that I used to work with, and we used to sort of share an office, and she didn't have that interest whatsoever. Her pillows that she used on sofas were just plain pillows. And for me, I loved being able to find something that was going to Home Goods or Home Sense and finding like pillows that were interesting shapes, that were great colors, that had like texture. Like that to me was like, that is probably what would define and separate the two of us in our staging, is that I had more of that and she was just like, put the pillows on the sofa, and they were all the same. And you know, so another thing could be like recycling furniture, upcycling, and doing making changes to furniture and painting things that you've already got. Like, I mean, that could be your specialty, your uniqueness as well. Now let me see. One thing that I'm going to just go back to this for one thing. I think I took it off here because the word was too long. But another one that I loved and I actually wanted to put in here was upholstery. Now, it's not something that you're going to necessarily do in every staging job, but if you love doing it and you can upcycle or recycle or make changes to inventory and things like that, even though that's your inventory, it's also like your passion in your inventory that you're able to do that, because most stagers would just go buy new, but there are totally people who would love to see something upcycled. That doesn't mean old and tired, but it means like something that, you know, that is really unique and special. I didn't upholster this or anything, but I had a yellow chair when I first started staging, and I had it through my entire business. I hardly ever used it, but I bought it when I very first started, before I had a job, which is never something that's advisable to do. And it was a beautiful chair, yellow with and it was ECAT pattern on it with like, but it was sort of like, I don't even remember the style of the chair, but you know, wooden arms and wooden legs. It was so cool. And I know nobody else would have that. Like, I loved having one-off pieces, but that's me, right? So that would be the thing that my inventory choices or my style become my passion, and also become part of the thing that I market about my staging as well. And you can do that with the idea of upholstery or recycling or upcycling. Now, the other thing to think about in your niche as well is to start thinking outside the box. Like, you know, what can you do that nobody else is doing, that you love to do, that would benefit your clients, that isn't necessarily in that traditional framework of a staging job. And it can be things like this. It can be having checklists. Like, where was I the other day? I can't remember where I was the other day, but where was it? I was with my husband somewhere, and we picked up like a flyer, and it was a photocopy, a bad black and white photocopy of something that should have been printed, beautiful, stunning, didn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be, it looked so schlocky. It just said exactly what was wrong with the business and why you would not hire them. And I remember just being, now my background is graphic design and communications, so that's really important to me. Visually is very important to me. My husband, it's important to him, but what's really important to him is customer service. Just sidebar, customer service, big deal. So maybe that's part of, like, when we talk about actually support, it's really customer service and how you support your clients during that process. And it could be, just as an example, that support includes that you make 2 face-to-face visits with them afterwards or through the process, or what would be another one? You come back and review what they've done, or, you know, there's like ways for you to be able to support doing check-ins that could be absolutely what somebody feels that they need. Some people don't want to know, they don't even want to know that they're supposed to be doing this, and they do it on the QT. And some people just, please help me, please support me, I want to hear from you. So that's, you know, I don't want to say it's a niche, but when nobody else does it, it becomes a niche, right? So, but when you're thinking outside of the box, it's like having checklists, having workbooks to help them, having like creating a plan that you use with all your clients, and you filling in the details. Like when you do like a consultation and you have like a notebook that you're going to give them. Like I always, my I teach how to do a walk and talk as opposed to doing consultation and writing a report. So when you do a walk and talk, I have a booklet that's been created specifically for that, built on my skills and my knowledge of graphic design, how people complete forms, because I did do a fair bit of that when I was in my earlier years, and processes and automations and things like that. And so I do it really well. It doesn't have to be a packed booklet either. You could do video series, or you could video the properties as well for the client. You could do the marketing for the client if that's something that you love. You could be doing speaking about the industry at the libraries, or in the industry even in itself, like when you've got something unique and special that you have. And actually, this reminds me of something as well. So it can be instructions. You can have a DIY offer that, so your clients work with you on part of it, and then you give them the rest in a plan for them to do. You could write a book that supports people putting their house on the market. All those things. Oh, now I forgot what I was going to say. Something important, not important necessarily to this, but like interesting, important. What was it I was going to say? Anyway, the point is, though, that to start thinking out of the box and think about like what you can do that's in addition, because also when you do these things, you also are setting yourself up as an industry expert. You're also setting yourself up to have different revenue streams as well. Some of this stuff can absolutely happen inside your business as you're doing it, inside your services, but having a book that positions you as the go-to person, it positions you as the expert. When you can say, I've written a book, or I've got a training, or I've got a workshop or whatever, it just gives you another revenue stream and another opportunity, as well as you can combine it into what you're doing. So my background is communications, and not marketing so much, but communications and creating content and graphic design. So I did a ton of that for 25 years, and now still do it every day in my business. But I worked in nonprofits and health charities, big national health charities in Canada, and also in provincial government. So I had a lot of exposure to writing, messaging, and really looking to see where the gaps and the opportunities were, and what information people were getting, and how to fill that and to make it so that there's never any questions. So that's partly where I come from when I'm thinking outside the box. What more do they need to know from me, and help can they have from me? Because one of the things about what we do in our offers is that we are very much delivering an offer, like when you quote a job and you go to do staging, it's really built around what I'm going to stage and what I'm going to do in that 5 hours that I'm at the property. What am I going to do, as opposed to all the gaps that you can fill, and I'll also say hiccups that you can prevent by having these other things going on as well. That's something that you have, and people love to know that they are working with the best person out there to do this. So that leads then to be your market's expert. So that can be your local market. It can be in the stagers market. It can be national, global stagers market as well. You can be a speaker. Oh, I know what I was going to say. This is what I was going to suggest. Just to go back to here for 1 second, a couple of things that are really invaluable. Like, I talked about the 5-part blueprint. So that is a name of a strategy that I have created, and I've called it this. There are other people who do something similar outside of the staging industry. And I will say that I followed suit from what they were teaching in a different kind of business, and thought, what, this would really work for stagers, because you spread yourself so thin. Anyway, you don't need to know the reason, but the idea that you can create a strategy that is unique to your business, that you can talk about, that you deliver as part of your service. So I'm going to say Eliza, for example, when Eliza has an interior design background. So I'm going to assume that her skill set is that she can do kitchen and bathroom design. Okay. And so when or maybe better would be choosing furniture. So she's in a position to have like a strategy, like the 5 points to consider when you're investing in new furniture for your staging, or 5 things that the 5-point renovation list or recommendations or strategy for someone selling their own house and doing recommendations, or not selling their own house, but that around staging or getting themselves on the market. So when you have, or that you follow when you are doing your staging, so that clients know that, oh, we're going to use Eliza's like 5-point formula. And so you have a formula that's attached to your name and that you can use in your business. You like that, do you, Eliza? Yes, because that's also what separates you. And actually that probably should be a key slide, because when you because even if we said the DIY offer, it could be named something. If you have workbooks, they can be named something. If you're training and workshops, you can name something. And so that becomes something that people recognize you by. And they feel like you really, not only did you put an extra effort in, but you also have the expertise and you're showing it off. And so people want to align with that. So that's something to also consider as well. Like, and we might think, well, I don't really have anything special, but I bet you do. And I bet you that you use the formulas that you were given in your training, in your foundation training. You use those formulas and they have a name, but what if you like rejig that and added your own spin on that, and it was your formulas, and you talked about how you follow the 3-point what, I'm trying to think of something, the 3-point lighting formula or something like that, and so you position yourself as that expert even more so. You can write about it, you can talk about it, you can answer Q&As about it. You'll be the authority. You can teach, you can coach, and as I said, you can be the authority. So that's kind of like, you know, what it would mean then to be that expert in the industry. You want to craft a niche that is really unique to you. And so having those names on strategies or processes or formulas that you use, having material that supports your clients on what they need and what they're going to do and what you know they want from you. That's what's going to separate you from the competition, because the difference between your staging business over here that does all the vacants versus you who does this, that's where you make the difference. That's why people will come to you. The other thing too is that when you separate yourself like that, you also create this this inherent value. So people look at your business and I'm like, ooh, she's good, and over here she's like, oh, we're going to hire a stager, but ooh, she's good. So suddenly the value goes up for you, and people aren't negotiating on price because they're excited because they have this new thing from you. Now, I copied this from something I was reading this morning. Your skills, your passions, and your market knowledge all blended together to make something unique and powerful. Now, interesting, I felt quite good about that because I had already done the presentation, and then I came across this and I'm like, yes, exactly. So this is exactly what you want to think about as your niche. And so you can focus on all three, you can focus on one, but whatever you do is something that you can get really excited about. That's the other thing about having a niche as well, is that when you get really focused on something, you get really excited about it and you want to talk about it and you want to promote it and you want to sell it, because you're not having to say, like if someone said to you, well, what's the difference between you, and you're both just say you stage, then how do you define those differences? But if you have a niche, you can define those differences instantly, so you can defend it, and not that you have to defend it, but you know, that you can talk about it really passionately. So I'm going to do something. I hope you guys don't mind me doing this. It's going to take a few minutes. I'm going to show you how AI can help you to create that niche and what it would mean for you to do that. So I've done sort of some beginning work on this, and I'm just going to go into my ChatGPT window, and I'm going to, hopefully there's still a prompt in there, and we're going to see what it can do, and just so you get an idea of it, just a very basic idea. Okay, let me see if I can do this. Oh, of course it did that, didn't it? Okay, share this tab instead. All right, so now you want to log in. Okay, so I put down this, this is a prompt. I'm a home stager looking to define a unique niche in the market. Please provide some niche ideas based on the following factors. I love helping people. I love staging condos. And I just want to tell you that not everybody can say they love doing all these things. Okay. So I love helping people. I love staging condos. I have a warehouse full of accessories. I prefer staging occupieds over vacant properties. I have an interior design background and my clients rave about my kitchen designs. So I've just given some very general things. So you can create your own prompt, your own description, so that you can get an answer that you want. And so when I click this, is it coming? No. Why is it not coming? It figures that it would do that. It's usually so speedy. I'm going to create a new chat. Oh, see, it's still doing that. Why would it not do it now? Okay, hang on a second.
You need to log into something on.
Yeah, I should be already logged into it, so it's already doing it this morning.
Refresh, maybe.
Yeah, you never know what it's going to do. Let's see if I can. Why is it doing that? You know, it's so funny because I watched someone else do this. Someone very well known do it, not about niches, but a similar sort of exercise in a class, and I was like, wow, that's so cool. And even she ran into problems. So all right, let me just see if I can. Maybe I'll just reload it and see what happens. Funny that it wants to do this right now, right? Never any other time. Okay, so we're gonna put that in and see what it spits out. Now I knew generally what it was going to spit out because I had I wanted to make sure I didn't show you an example of something that wasn't very successful, but I just found this absolutely fascinating to because it really helps you to really read or to identify how many niches there really could be based on what and that we all try to be the same stagers, but there's so much more that's available to us. So in this one, it talks about luxury condo occupied staging specialists. The one that I think was like, kitchen focused home staging. Build a niche around staging occupied homes with a heavy focus on showcasing the kitchen, or it could be renovating the kitchen or upgrading the kitchen. Understanding like what you bring to the table. Given your clients rave about your kitchen designs, you could brand yourself as a stager who maximizes the value and appeal of homes through stunning kitchen transformations, drawing attention to one of the most important rooms in any home sale. So one of the things that like could be really interesting in this is that you could change it a little bit, market to people who are know they need to have a reno done in their kitchen. And that's part of like or bathroom or something like that, right? So you can do that. The occupied family home staging specialists target families who need to sell their homes but are unable to vacate. Didn't I just say that? That's so weird. With your warehouse of accessories and interior design background, you could specialize in transforming lived-in homes into polished market-ready properties, emphasizing your ability to work around busy family life and enhance their home's best features. Or first-time sellers offer a unique service that helps first-time sellers, particularly condo owners, navigate the home selling sequence or process by transforming. Now, I just want to, I don't know guys if you use AI a lot, but one of the things, let's say that's our description and that we put in as a prompt, but let's maybe add something into that. Now, what would be good? Can you update the niche, these niches, these suggestions to include that what would I say? That oh, I can't think of something. It's totally gone out of my head. Anyone think of something that I could add into there that just makes it like tighter? Can you update these suggestions to include? Okay, that I love to stage in a day and see and with my clients. And yeah. Okay, and I want to charge over $2,000. See what it says. So suddenly it changes. Now, this isn't as detailed a niche as I would want you to have, because I want you to think about what's really important to you. But I think, but it gets you to start thinking about like, how could that look different than someone else's? And also like how easy it is to market yourself as doing something unique and different that other stagers aren't doing as well. Okay. So I hope you found that as interesting as I do. Because what's that?
Very much so. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
You say I will create my website, so it will help me with my content to make it sound very nice. But yeah, this is brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. And so tomorrow what we're going to do is we're going to actually use AI and create a an offer. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. We're going to create an offer and using AI as well. So think about what your niche is, and if you want to do it alongside me, you can do that as well. Where's my thing gone? And but yeah, I thought that was really very cool. I did it, as I said, I did this for a client the other day, and it was pretty interesting. It just makes you start well, it does a couple of things. It validates what you're thinking. It also gives you some ideas and to build from. And it also puts out there what maybe you were kind of afraid to think that you could do. Like, so it actually says, oh, I really could do that. I find it's very helpful. I mean, I do a lot of writing, but I find AI can be, like I've used it to help get me started on sales pages and website content and all sorts of stuff. And I had to help me write emails because I use it all the time. It knows my style. So now it's starting to get to this place where it's like, oh, that's exactly what I would say, which is, I really love that. So, all right. So that is us doing an AI prompt, helping us around our niche as well. And it's those things that help us to stand out, because if you then narrow down that niche or made it a little bit more detailed, and then you asked it, AI, to help you with like messaging, that you want to create an ad for this, or you want to write an email introducing this, what you do to your clients, or a Facebook post or something like that. It's amazing that it does those things. So what we're going to do tomorrow is we're going to work on an offer for that niche that you are thinking that you want to focus on, and we're also going to make sure that it works for our best fit client, and we're also going to make sure that we can price it as well. AI can help you price, but really, but what is good about AI helping you price is that it gives you these maximum numbers, and you're like, oh, I didn't realize I could go that high. And you feel sort of validated that you can actually charge that much. Whether or not you do or not, it's a whole other story. And also too, the idea of pricing built on the value that you bring, and also the service, the things that you're going to do, the cost of doing it for your business as well. But that's what we're going to work on tomorrow. So make sure you come back, because that's what we're going to do. And when we get to tomorrow, this is where we're actually looking in the 5-part blueprint. We're looking at both the offer and the marketing. So we've like conquered the messaging, the best fit client, the niche, and now we're looking at what's the offer that we're going to actually market to that audience as well. So one thing I wanted to share, and it goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning, was the Modern Stager Studio. So the Modern Stager Studio is a monthly membership, and what we're going to be doing inside that membership is, starting October 15th, we are doing a 90-day sprint. So you would every day we would be taking those pieces from the 5-part blueprint, and we will be learning those and integrating them into our business, so that we are doing a 90-day sprint to revenues, but with the intention of having that implemented so that for 12 months you're going to sort of focus on that one offer, and achieving that financial goal that you set out. So that's what we're going to do in the Modern Stager Studio, which is the month-to-month membership. Now, the value of the membership that I just want to share with you, this is like, this is new. It's new to the industry and it's new to me, but not really, kind of, because I have all this content. I have the Successful Stager Foundation training and a ton of other content, and also built around the 5-part blueprint. And so everything that's inside the Modern Stager Studio is meant to help you start, build, grow, and scale your business. But it's in short snippets of training, of content, of templates, all the things that you would need to go from here to here in your staging business, and really to get you to do it in that 12-month period. So the 5-part blueprint is really sort of a foundation for that. So if that's something that you want to do, then absolutely I would suggest that you join the membership. It's only $47 a month. There's no long-term commitment. You can save and join for a year, and it's $470. Now, I will tell you that included in here are pieces of my the Successful Stager training. So if you have not done any training yet, and you're not concerned with having certification or being certified, but you just really want to be able to do this in the right way and build a business properly, then the Stager Studio, the Modern Stager Studio, is also exactly what you can use the content in here. And if you ever run into anything, since I'm the person who's created the content, if you ever run into anything and there's a gap, then absolutely we can fill that gap, because there's probably something that out there that we can use. But I just want to encourage you to join this, because it's really about getting you from here to here, and it's about like having the community and the support through that journey, and being able to sort of pick and choose what you need when you need it. So if you needed to know about pricing, if you're stuck on pricing, there's several modules on pricing. If you were thinking about like, I really hate doing my consultation the way it is, then there's another module that's about like options for doing a consultation. There's we'll be doing the live training, which will then be recorded and put into the community around the 90-day sprint. So all those things that like the how to create an offer, how to use AI, actually, I think I should do something like that in your business to help you create business. It's all inside in the membership as well. And as a bonus, you also get, it's not, I haven't finished it yet, so it's not released yet, but the 2025, even if you didn't stay, like even if you just came for a month and that was enough for you, and you weren't interested in doing the 90-day sprint, you would also get the 2025 Digital Successful Stager Planner, which is something I did about 3 years ago and was really very successful. And I've been revamping it so that it's something that you can use on your iPad, and it's designed for you as a stager. So it locks in, like, you know, what your financial goals are, or what you've got scheduled in staging this month, when the next wholesale event is, and things like that. So there's lots of great things in this. It's a really great planner, and it's really something that I've done for my existing clients. So that's something if you would get as well. Now, it's perfect for you if you want to start, grow, or scale your staging business. It's really useful no matter where you are in your business. There are what we call, what do you call them now? These learning paths for you to take, depending on what it is that you want to know. So there's a sort of a guide of what's going to work for you best, and what to go to first, etc. Also, it's good for you if you want to get your business back on track, or you feel like it needs to go faster. I've got to be able to make my staging business go faster. Again, it's still working around the idea that it's a 12-month process, and so you can join in and do that as well, and you can do the 90-day sprint with us, and that will get your business moving as well. And it's also, you know, if you want to reach that 12-month goal that you've never reached before, if you're ready to do 6 figures and you've been waiting and it's not happened, then maybe this is the time to do it. And the beauty of this also is that it is a membership, but it's also a community. So it's not like being in other Facebook groups where you can sort of feel like you've got to aspire to, or you don't want to comment. That's not what this is about. This is about supporting each other. It's about, and it's not just about business. As I said, it's like that, having that equilibrium between your, between your business right now and your home right now, and just always moving along and getting that support from everybody, because really everybody's gone through the same thing as well. So it is, I'm really excited about it. It's new, but it's something that I think is going to be invaluable. And it's the only one I know of. There might be maybe another one, but I don't think so, because there aren't a ton of trainers. And so this is content from my training and content from my coaching and everything I've been doing, really, honestly. So I don't think that there's anyone else doing this. I have tried this. I'm not tried it, but I've done it a couple of times in different ways. But this, I feel like, is a new way for you to be an expert stager without having to commit to ongoing coaching programs or asking in a Facebook group. This is legitimately the information you're going to get here is what you need. And also too, I have, because of my history in the industry, I also have a lot of contacts who I happily will have in and do guest speaking and share what they're doing. And that will be really helpful too, because you get a bigger picture view of the industry, and you also get to hear from other experts, and you didn't have to go to RISA or IHOS to actually do that. So anyways, I'm really excited about it. So I'm going to send another email, hopefully sooner than I did yesterday. And if you don't get it, let me know, because I could see there was something weird going on with it last night when I sent it. So because I didn't get it, and I did say it sent it. So, but I'm going to send it again today, and I'll follow up and make sure everybody got it. But I'm going to include in there a link for you that if you want to just book a 20-minute call with me and chat about something that, like, what are your next steps? Like, if you're starting your business, what would be the best thing for me to do? How do I navigate this? Like, I don't know, understand this, whatever. So you have that opportunity to book a call with me for 20 minutes. All right. And we can set you straight and get you moving as you want to. All right, because you really don't have to do it alone. And that's what I want to see, that everybody's taking advantage of the fact that there are other people who have been in your boat, and that they can help you. All right. So that is, let me just turn the stop sharing. All right. Okay, good. All right. So that is basically our session for today. And if you have any questions, just pop them in the message. I don't even know. I haven't even opened it up yet. So if you have any questions, just pop them in, or direct message me or reply to the email. And I'm happy to do that. If you want to have a call with me, we can definitely do that as well. Actually, maybe I'll do this right now. I'm just gonna post the link for where to go in here. And so book a call. All right, so you can book a call, and you can also, I'm gonna just grab something up here. And this is how you can join the membership. And you can just go in and do that right now. And one of the things, because, and maybe I'll do this for the next couple of days, is that when I offered the Modern Stager, if you booked it yesterday, if you saved your spot yesterday, you got to have like a free coaching call with me, and it was be a private one-to-one call, and you can ask me anything in that call. If you join the membership. So maybe what I'll do is I'll extend out that time period till the end of day tomorrow, or even the end of the weekend. If you want to book a one-to-one call with me, then if you join the membership, you'll get that. Okay, as an extra bonus as well. So you get the digital planner when I release it, and you get access to the 90-day sprint. And as long as you stay a member, though, because it's a 3 months, so you want to stay a member for that. All right, and it's also a great way to hear what else is going on in the industry and to meet other people as well as you're going. Alrighty, so thank you so much for coming. Tomorrow we're going to do the same thing, same time, but we're going to talk about the offer, which I have to say, like the other two things, like they're really cool, but the offer is the part that is like, wow, I could do that. You know, suddenly it really it opens doors and yours and opens your mind to things that that you always imagined would be really cool. Like honestly, like I would go back to pillows and I would go back to painting and doing Sal's house more than I did when I was staging. I probably would have been, well, I anticipate I would have made more. I would have had a much better reputation. I wouldn't have been competing with every other stager. So yeah. So anyway, you know, I actually locally have not staged like since we moved here. COVID started pretty quickly after we came, and I didn't sort of get back to doing consults and things. And because I don't stage anymore, but I do consults, and I've been thinking about doing the same sort of thing and taking a consult and creating it into a 1-day offer and or like a 4-hour offer or something that I can do. So excuse me, maybe I'll use that as an example tomorrow when we use AI. But if you have something that you want to add in and you want me to pop it into the screen, we can do that as well. But I think it'll be really cool. All right, everybody. So it was wonderful seeing you today, and I thank you so much for showing up. And I will see you tomorrow again with we'll talk about offers. Woohoo! All right, take care.
Thank you. Great stuff. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Okay. All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye.